Hi. I've been told I have less than 5 minutes, so I'm going to go pretty fast through this, but I'm also going to try and share my comic in Slack later. I will share my comic in Slack later. I'm basically just talking through the comic that I wrote. So my name's Tess Needham. I work on the WordPress VIP team at Automatic, and I love comics. So let's go. I've long been interested in comics as just a method of communication. So at the top there is my application for Automatic. I just sent that, no cover page or anything. I obviously got the job, so that was good. This is my freelance business that I had before my job called WP Supergeek. This is a hilarious Instagram account that I make where I draw comics of my kids. So if you're interested in following along, that is Parentisms on Instagram. I don't really do other social media, so if you're interested in that, feel free. So I'm not the only one who's interested in comics. We have Scott McCloud, who did that fabulous Kubernetes comic that you can get at the front as well from Google. And Will Eisner is another great person to look into. And Understanding Comics, Scott McCloud's one, and he's got a few other books as well, are all written as comics in themselves. Wink face, this is a comic too. So both of them, they agree on a definition of comics as sequential art. So just art in a sequence that represents a chronology of time. For example, a really quick comic that shows a sequence of time. Others have expanded on this definition, so saying it's art in relationship, because you don't want to discount, say, one-panel comics, which is what I do a lot on Instagram. The definition of comics is a bit contentious, and actually, you can kind of just define it by its examples. They appear in expected and unexpected places. So here's a few examples of comics. You've got some cave drawings, you've got XKCD, airline safety instructions, Lego instructions, hieroglyphics, all good examples of comics. But why put comics in documentation? You're all thinking, we know what comics are, Tess. Why are you talking about it in docs? Research shows that visuals help people retain information. I don't think that's new information for anybody in this room. And basically, it's just science. Comics are fun, they're engaging, they're accessible, but they do have limits. So we shouldn't be using comics for comics' sake. I would suggest that they're best used to enhance other modes of communication. Comics can be useful for leading users through a sequence of tasks. So if you think about those airline safety instructions, it can be useful for, say, when you don't want to use words because you want it to be accessible to different languages, or if there's anything that you've got like a sort of story to tell in sequence. And describing user journeys. So you can also just use them internally if you want to outline user journeys of the users who are using your product. And this is one that was made for Yahoo. A few other things. So McCloud notes that when you can abstract a character and it becomes sort of like a mask. And then you can see yourself more in this version. So I don't really see myself as that person, and not even that person, but I could see myself being this person. I can also see myself being that person, but that's another topic. So we can identify with them more. And the masking effect can be applied to screenshots. There was a great talk last year on this exact thing, so I suggest you look that up if you're interested more. But it's this idea of kind of abstracting screenshots rather than using just a screenshot. So you don't have to update them as often, perhaps, as well. But also you can help to focus in on certain things. And that's something that I do use at the moment. So there's also another Scott McCloud comic on Google Chrome. And that's the end. For now.